want to show you something. This always happens to Lou and me, and it's embarrassing, but we put up with it, buddy. The crowd outside our headquarters here at 1211 Avenue of the Americas, it has grown to the point, and Kennedy, you were hearing, they just want to call it, yep. Right? I mean, these are largely a lot of Trump supporters, and they know, and they've been following the numbers and the states that are coming in, and they know that we're at 98, 99% of Pennsylvania being called in, and they just want to end it already because they know that once that state is called, Donald Trump is the president-elect.
I think that's very selfish on their part.
Okay.
I mean, we've got plenty of time.
Absolutely.
They've got plenty of energy. And I have to tell you, the second that flashes on the monitor outside, they are going to erupt. It is going to be so loud and so insane. Right here in Midtown Manhattan, a crowd that you normally wouldn't associate with this part of the city, and certainly this part of New York State. It is very enthusiastic and growing by the minute.
By the way, the only new development we have for you, I wish I could convey and pass along, one of the states to you, but we're hearing that John Podesta is on his way to the Jacob Javits Center to presumably address the crowd there. I don't know what that would mean or why that would mean, the head of the Hillary Clinton campaign.
Yeah, Julian Assange can actually let us know.
That's fine, that's fine. But we are waiting to see. We've not heard anything about Hillary Clinton doing that, but John Podesta will. What that means, the significance of that, I have no idea. But Steve Hilton is a former strategy director for David Cameron, the former British leader. And Steve, I'm wondering now, I've been reading a lot of the foreign press, British press, and the English version, at least, of the French and other press out there. They're not big fans, it would seem, of Donald Trump, and they shudder at the thought of a President Trump, and they made that very, very clear in a lot of their editorials and stories mocking our election process. What are your friends across the pond, what are they telling you now?
Well, they can't believe what's happening. But actually, there's an interesting parallel from over there. As the evening's been going on, and I've been saying to myself, wow, that's amazing, as we see these results. And then I think, actually, it's not amazing, because we saw exactly this with the Brexit vote, which I was very much a part of, arguing for Brexit. You had exactly the same sense from the political and media establishment and the business establishment in the UK and elsewhere. Like, this can't be happening. How can people be voting for something that same establishment had united around showing their contempt, their total contempt for the people who wanted to vote for Brexit, just as has been going on here in America and in Europe, where people ask themselves, how could anyone vote for Trump? Well, the answer is they don't understand what's been going on in the real lives of so many millions of Americans who, after all these years of Obama and Bush, are still seeing their incomes below where they were 17 years ago. And they're looking at what's going on and thinking, we might as well try Trump, because we've tried all these other politicians and nothing seems to happen. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. We don't seem to have any improvement in our lives. And that's the real explanation for Brexit and for Trump. And it shows an amazing lack of empathy, I think, on the part of the establishment, that they just don't understand what's driving this incredible revolt against the policies.
Well, a lot of these people
and the complacency.
Well, yeah, you might be right, because at the Clinton headquarters, it almost seems like a "we are the world" moment going on there. I don't know what they're doing. We are hearing that John Podesta is going to address them in a brief exchange. He said that Hillary Clinton, he doesn't know about that, but I'm the one headed over. He did not respond to a question about whether he was going to speak, or I guess by extension, whether Hillary Clinton was going to speak. Separately, we're hearing that David Axelrod, former top Clinton, I'm sorry, a former top Obama advisor, expects a Trump-Obama meeting on Thursday. Lou Dobbs, that's one to be on a fly on the wall for.
Indeed it is, and it suggests that there is an assurance, at least at this very late hour, that there will be a congratulations and a preparation to begin a transition. And, you know, even now, as we sit here at 2:54, knowing full well that much is imminent in the way of mathematics to get to 270, it seems presumptuous to even talk about that Thursday without it being at 270. But presumptuousness.
Yeah, I would assume he's saying if she does.
Right.
concedes tonight, or he clinches it
The
tonight. That would
reality
be
is
natural.
that margin right now is so close that it is all but certain that he will be the next president of the
Can
United
I ask
States.
Steve a really quick question?
Sure, please.
Hey, Steve, it's Kennedy. I'm just wondering, what did they get so wrong in Great Britain and in the United States? And is there something that these missed polls have in common?
Yeah, I think there is, and it's what we've seen in both votes, which is people who expressed support for Brexit were described, roundly condemned by everyone for being racist and narrow-minded and not understanding the modern world and wanting to shut the country off from the globalizing consensus that everyone supported. Just as you saw here with Hillary's basket of deplorable speech, which captured so much of the contempt that the elite felt. That means that people, and I think we've all experienced this in our lives, they actually didn't want to say that they supported Trump because they felt that they were just going to be insulted if they did. And so I think that actually explains a huge proportion of the hidden vote that's clearly come out in support of him. And I think it's a real wake-up call for everything about how the establishment and the political insiders and the media, for the whole way that they've operated. It really is. And I think it's a very exciting moment.
Absolutely. I would just add to that it is a wake-up call in that, we need to be more understanding of all sides in the media in general. I mean, we do it day in and day out at Fox Business and at Fox. I mean, we always have both sides, and we're respectful to both sides. But what you have seen throughout this entire election process is a group of media elite that just simply dismiss, laughs off the other side, and tries to shame people into thinking the other side has absolutely no merit at all. And so, Steve, you're right. It's something that happened in the UK. It's something that has happened here. And in some ways, you might argue that it helped Donald Trump in that the more the media came at him, the more they attacked him, and the more he struck back, the more people respected him for it.
I think that's exactly right. I actually argued that during the campaign, that they've got to watch what they're doing, the establishment, with their attacks on Trump supporters, because they may be actually galvanizing them to come out and really stand up for themselves after being treated with such contempt. And I think that has been a huge part of it. And I love the way that we've got this uprising against people, let's remember, who have failed for so long. He failed in their economic policies, failed to deliver the kind of education people want for their children. Right across the board, they have failed on the you want a government. And that's why they're looking for the kind of big change that Trump spoke to. And I just hope that now it looks like he's going to be there. He's really got to deliver it. That's the thing that we need to hold him account for.
Steve, I think we also have to give some credit to Nigel Farage, who led the Brexit movement, who obviously had Donald Trump's ear on a couple of things and engaged him. It's exciting to have that bond with the UK, and as both countries pursue, if you will, a renewed sense of independence, hoping, of course, fully that it leads to that mood in both countries soon. I know that there's going to be some delay, it looks like, in the UK as a result of the recent court ruling. Where do you think that goes?
Well, I think this is great news for those of us who campaign for Brexit, because it shows that actually in the form of as it looks like we're going to see a President Trump plus a Republican-controlled Congress, you're going to get much faster action on the kind of trade deal that the UK would love to see signed with the US, which completely makes the point that we made during the Brexit campaign, that you don't have to be in the EU to have good trading relationships. You can, as an independent country, strike deals with other countries. And of course, the US and the UK should have the closest possible economic relationship. And I think that's going to be much easier now, if, as seems likely, we're going to have Republican control of all the key branches of government.
All right, we'll watch closely. Steve Hill, I do want to thank, going on to some news developments at the Clinton headquarters here, where they were busting into chants and songs here on reports that John Podesta just might address the troops after all. There's a lot